Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're gonna do Jim Starlin's Breeds, issue number 3 by Bravura Malibu Comics. Yes, let's dive in. Skip a few pages. Yeah, we're gonna begin where it ends. So this woman is Rachel, and he is or she has some kind of a connection with Raymond here. Raymond is wounded, and she uses, I don't know, some kind of a water from the well to heal his wounds. Raymond still cannot fathom what happened. He's constantly bewildered and in shock. And but Rachel here, very calm, explains something or pieces of what happens here. But although she's here for years, she doesn't know what this is exactly. So she says this could be magic. This could be. Yeah, from everything. It seems that present or secrets from the past and present can be seen here in this well, but not the future. And so Raymond has a lot of questions, but she says that basically they are linked to each other, and she tells a little bit about his past, although he cannot remember it very well. But it seems that she has been, I don't know, looking or can look in his past for 3 years. And she says, you have a vision from Vietnam, right? He says Laos. So he says, whatever. It didn't happen like that. You mean you don't want to remember it coming down your way? So it seems that Raymond here has suppressed a lot of memories, including the rape of his mother, and he doesn't want to remember. And she says, she says to him, "Not easy witnessing your own conception, isn't it?" He says, that woman was not my mother. I know my mom. She raised me. She has red hair, not black. I mean, that was in his vision. And he says, what color is your father's hair? He says, brown. But then he looks at his own hair and sees it's black. Not that really matters. I mean, I know a lot of, parents with different hair colors. It's not that your son or daughter has the same hair color, or mostly they do, but not always. But in context with this comic, so... she says you can only run so far with your own self-delusion or on self-delusion. And basically she says, now look into the mirror or this well, and what do you see? And he sees himself or maybe his father. I'm not entirely sure. But he has enough of this whole shenanigans. And he says, you know what? I'm getting out of here. I'm done here. And but she says, you can try burying your head like you usually do. In the end, you're going to have to admit you and I are two of a kind. Of what kind, says Raymond. He said, we are breeds. We are half demons or half monsters. She says, he says, demon? There's only one fire way to find out if I'm lying. She says, more visions? No. She says, come with me. And now go sit here or stand here and squint your eyes. And then he sees this. And the art, I'm saying this a lot, but Jim Starlin's art is phenomenal. In my opinion, of course. So what are these? Well, according to Rachel, she says, it's the dead throughout the ages. Everyone who ever lived continuously marching by. So he says, is this the afterlife? A facet of it. I've run into some of these same spirits other places outside elsewhere. So I think, and it seems, but I'm not entirely sure, that this place is, if you have read an older Hulk comic, the part that he lost, the Bruce Banner part, and that the Avengers fought him, and that eventually Doctor Strange banished him to some kind of a realm where he can do no harm because he was a raging monster and he was hurting people. He was too dangerous for the people on Earth. So he came to a crossroads. And on that crossroads, there were different paths to different dimensions. So he's not really how do you say, when he needs to eat, when he needs to sleep, when he needs to have companions. So different realms with different dimensions and with different people or creatures with different dangers. And if he has enough of that, he can will himself back to the crossroads to start all over again. Of course, he went back to normal and everything went, was all right. Well, if you can call it all right with the Hulk comic, because there's always something going on with Hulks. But yeah, I believe something like this is here as well, although this is not really a crossroads with different paths. This is a giant mega city or dimension. I'm not sure really what it is. So Rachel explains what happened to her, that her parents or her mother was also raped by, or how do you say, violated by a demon. And then when she grew up, she became a prostitute, and she just knew that she was different by, by everybody else. And she became a prostitute in like 125 years ago in London. Rotten times, she says. She hooked up with a pimp called Rudolph, who has a taste for absinthe, being a drunk. And one day he snapped at her and he just carved the face open with this blade, with a razor. And in sheer panic, she killed him. But the people called it murder, so she ran away while her face was being cut open. And then she accidentally, run into the entrance of this place, and she's been here ever since. And then the healing water of this fountain healed her, well, the best that it could. I mean, look at the face. So I believe that in the beginning that she was some kind of a demon monster, but apparently she isn't, but I'm not entirely sure. I mean, she has an evil looking face, but not really evil for now. And she doesn't have really evil intentions, but there's something going on. I'm going to show you. She says, demon nor human ever venture into elsewhere. So this place is called elsewhere. For some reason, only breed seems to find the way here. I pieced together my past pretty much from talking with breeds, quotations, I've encountered by the well. Of course, I ended up killing every damn one of them in the end. Had to. So Raymond says, well, what? If they told their demon masters about my life here, basically she's been discovered and the demon masters would have killed her somehow, because there is some demon spawn turning to their demon masters and become servants. And they are the bad lot, she says. So she and Raymond are basically the free demons, or free as in not number 3, but free with an F. But secrecy has always been my best defense. And then she turns into Raymond, accusing him that he's doing the same. But Raymond, being Raymond, says, nah, what are you talking about? I have no clue. So he's repressing memories again. It seems that he has never exerted himself, never going to the extremes with sports, and then when he's been bullied, he never fought back, because unconsciously he has always tried to be invisible, secretly. Because if he, fought back or exerting himself, the demon masters would have sensed him somehow, and they would come after him. And but Raymond says, enough with your bullshit. You're crazy. I'm not like you. Say goodnight, Grace, and he's getting the hell out of here. But she says, I cannot just let you walk out on truth. And then she turned into her breed form, and she says, it's part of me like yours is part of you. But I don't waste time trying to dye my dark side, Ray. And then I can't allow you to that luxury anymore either. So I think, oh man, she's going to kill him, right? So she's standing here on top of this building and wants to throw him down like, like a Tekken character, you know, the game Tekken, when Heihachi throws his son into a volcano, something like that. That reminds me of a little bit. And she says, there's an animal inside you, thirsting to tear loose. You're going to have to come to terms with this, or you're going to die. And then he transforms into his breed form. And again, look at this gorgeous looking landscape and this whole, you know, drawing. It looks freaking fantastic. Look at his faces here, and oh man, it's just gorgeous looking art. And so from now on, we see visual storytelling, not shouting and crying. No. It's just a fight scene, cool fight scene. So this is going to happen. Well, there's some shenanigans here with the talking, but he says, stay away from me. I'm leaving this asylum. And she says, enlightenment. Unfortunately for you, frail little psyche, has this education is only just the beginning. And she's going to kick his ass, man. And I thought, okay, when he was in his breed form, I thought, well, he's going to rip her apart. But no, actually, it's the other way around. She's throwing off the building, and then she's catching him, and then throwing him around like he's just a plaything. It's a you bitch. And what's with the receding hairline? So he attacks again, but she is way faster. Not really stronger, but just more cunning, and she has more control over her form and powers and more fighting spirit. As you can see here, she really kicks his ass, and it looks great. And I mean, look at this. No mercy at all. But then Raymond says, enough, I had enough. You win. And then Rachel says, I sure the hell hope so. Kicking you around is like beating on a brick wall. Can't punch your way out of a wet paper bag now, but it's clear you're going to eventually be one bad son of a bitch. And he says, where do you learn to fight like that? She says, China, Japan, I've been around. It's a rough world out there, Ray. To survive it, you're going to need all the help you can get. So, and then she's going to transform back into her human form. Well, I reckon it's my job to be your teacher. Basically, she says you're going to need more toughening up. And from what I see in the waters, fate's got something special in store for you. Maybe not to be pretty, but it's your lot. Well, basically, it's this fate or something like that. And you have to stop lying to yourself about what you are. I'm here to help. I got questions. You got questions. I try to answer them. And then Raymond realizes now that he was been all alone, even when with his upbringing, nobody can relate. He cannot relate to anybody, not with his parents, not with the people around him. And he felt all alone, and he's now breaking down. And she says, it's all right now, Ray. You are no longer alone. And this is the end of this book. And yeah, great stuff. I mean, there is comics that, you know, talks, you know, like filler. Or there's only a comic that has a lot of action. And this is some kind of a in-between book. It has it all, you know, has the explanation, you know, about what he is, where she's coming from, what this place is. But also has a lot of cool action, like I showed you here. It's freaking awesome. Looks really cool. Yeah, great stuff. I wonder where this is going, if Rachel is actually a good guy or a good girl, or there's maybe something more to her. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, what happens between her and the 125 years that she's been? What happened to the other breed? You know, she killed him, but how did she all know that people are looking for her? I really wonder. Maybe it's going to be revealed, maybe not. We'll see in issue number 4. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I see you next time. Bye-bye.